Shaq, before I let you go, I had to address a little bit earlier in the show this cat, Rashad McCants. The brother got mad at me. I don't know him, but he got mad at me because I was like, listen, I love Kobe, miss him to death. The Black Mamba's the Black Mamba, but I did not have him number 2 all time. And because of that, I'm hating. I was like, is there something wrong with today's culture? Like, if you tell us, I'm thinking Kobe Bryant's top 10 all time, probably top 5. I mean, look, number 2 off guard all time behind Michael Jordan. In my mind, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, wait a minute, what's wrong with me not saying that he's not number 2 all time in the history of basketball? What's wrong with that, Shaq?
We have to sometimes be able to stop time and get out of our own way. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. And this goes for all of, society. Just because a person thinks one way doesn't mean they're right or wrong, but it doesn't mean you have to belittle that person. But I have a problem with, what you said. Like, my thing is, it doesn't matter who the GOAT is, my guy should be in the conversation.
Yes.
Don't just, no, but hold on. So what Rashad was saying is, like, you guys just throw him out of the conversation. So somehow it just went from Mike to LeBron, and you just threw my guy out of the conversation. His name needs to be in there, and when his name is not in there, that's when people have a problem.
I appreciate the correction. I've seen you on many occasions question certain things, and you're just talking about the game, how somebody else may have done it better, particularly in moments, because you ain't just looking at stats. You looked at moments. Knowing you the way that I have over these decades, you didn't just pay attention to numbers. You were talking about who showed up when it was time to show up too. All of those things come into consideration. I look at Kobe. There is nothing on earth to question the greatness of Kobe Bryant, who to me is one of the greatest of all time. But it did help for those first 3 rings that he had you in your prime to some degree.
That's not the point. The point everybody is making is don't leave him out the conversation.
Stephen A.Smith, he finally get to see what it has been like being a Kobe Bryant fan for the past 20 some odd years. Now he's getting attacked by the Kobe Bryant fans, and he deserves every second of it. He deserves every minute of it. He deserves every minute of it.
He deserves every minute of it.
For all the years that ESPN has been brainwashing and programming the fans to believe that LeBron is on the same level as Michael Jordan. Stephen A. Smith gets bothered by the fact that Rashad McCants shouldn't even be acknowledged by Stephen A. Smith, considering where Stephen A. Smith is supposedly successfully in the ESPN world and the type of deals that he's making. He shouldn't even have to address Rashad McCants, who had a subpar RBA career, but he took it personal. At the same time, he does have a point, because the ESPN goes out of their way time and time again to try to diminish and to try to tear down Kobe Bryant or other RBA players just to build up LeBron James. They've been doing it for years. And now that Stephen A. Smith is getting attacked, he called himself going and running and telling like a little kid, running to tell his daddy, his papa, running to tell his big daddy Shaq. He told his daddy Shaq like Shaq was going to go approach him and handle his dirty work. See, it was somewhat like a blessing in disguise for Kobe Bryant, because now with the rise of social media, it has allowed not just fans, but also RBA players to be able to look outside of the ESPN talking points, outside of the ESPN brainwashing and programming. Them constantly using these tactics, these programming, brainwashing tactics, repeating the same thing over and over, that he's greater than what he is. Them constantly talking about LeBron James 24/7. See, most RBA fans today, they don't consume their sports news from ESPN no more. They go to the Gilbert Arenas podcast, the Knuckleheads podcast. They may go to Kwame Brown, or they may go to other sports news podcasts online where the media isn't filtered. And that's why they're trying to bring their plants like Rachel Nichols and Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright, and they're really trying to bring the ESPN plants to the internet so they can control the narrative. Stephen A. Smith got a nerve to talk about it's not just about the numbers. Y'all bring up the numbers all the time with LeBron James. It has always been about the numbers and the stats with LeBron James. Because if you didn't bring up the numbers and the stats and we just go based upon the eye test, Kobe is leaps and bounds ahead of LeBron. By far. By far.
By far.
That was the whole purpose of LeBron James trying to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time scoring list, just to help his GOAT case. He's going to try to make the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar record unreachable for other players, have 4 championships, and that could be his argument as the GOAT. He's passed Michael Jordan for 10 plus points. That's all they care about, the analytics and the stats at ESPN. Forget the numbers. If you replace LeBron James with Kobe Bryant, if you would have put Kobe Bryant on that Miami Heat team, anybody with common sense, I guarantee you, ask Stephen A. Smith. Ask him this. If you put Kobe Bryant on that Miami Heat super team, how many rings do you think that Kobe Bryant would have won? How many rings do you think that Michael Jordan would have won? I guarantee you, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, I guarantee you that he'll say Kobe Bryant would have at least won 3 or 4 championships. A tandem of Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade, 2 share like DNA mentality, 2 killers, with Chris Bosh and under the tutelage of Pat Riley? Are you serious? See, the players are starting to wake up. Nobody's watching ESPN no more. They tuned out. They watching YouTube videos. They show LeBron James doing some high-flying dunk last night, dunking over Paul George. Come on, man. Like, 39 years old, and you want me to believe that that's natural? You want me to believe that that's not true at almost 40 years old, and this man been a ball-dominant player, been playing the exact same way since he came in the league? I refuse to believe it. Barely busting a sweat, running like John Morant and the young boys? Like, nah, come on, no, I refuse to believe that, everybody should be able to have their own top 5 and nobody should get offended. Nobody should take it personal. It's a shame that where it gets to a point of sports where, people are sensitive and they get upset at the fact that you have your own top 5. That's what we've been trying to tell LeBron James fans for years. We've been trying to tell the bronsexuals that for years, Stephen A. Smith. But ESPN has brainwashed them under the Jesus programming. They have an emotional attachment to LeBron James. They view him as God because of you guys. So if I were to not put LeBron James in my top 5, they would question my basketball judgment. They would tell me that I don't know basketball. This is my personal top 5. Your former co-worker, Rachel Nichols, was just asking Allen Iverson, who he said his 2 top players was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He says, and it's everybody else after that. They're starting to see the games that y'all playing. Because now y'all got to spin the narrative because y'all don't want that thought to enter into people's mind to think that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are one and the same, are neck and neck. Allen Iverson, that was his opinion, who he thought was the top 2 players of all time. Rachel Nichols, she doesn't ask Allen Iverson, so who's after that for you, AI? Well, since Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is number 1 and number 2 for you, who is number 3? She forced him to say that LeBron James was next. She suggested the name LeBron James. Why she had to suggest LeBron James 3rd? Why she didn't say Hakeem Olajuwon? Why she ain't say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Why she ain't say Bob Cousy? Hell. Why she ain't say Kevin Durant? Why she didn't say Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Shaquille O'Neal, Scottie Pippen, Tracy McGrady? That's his personal top 2. She wanted for him to say LeBron, so you don't forget about LeBron. People like the bronsexuals, they have a victimized mentality. They can dish it, but they can't take it.